Good evening all. I request everyone to take your seats. We'll begin the program shortly. I request everyone to take your seats. I request the dignitaries to kindly come over to the dais. The Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document. It is a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of age. Keeping this spirit high, we celebrate 26th day of November as Constitution Day. The soul of the Constitution lays down one of the most powerful words, we, the people of India. This day is a reminder to all of us to understand better every year the essence of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Good evening all. I welcome you all to the Constitution Day celebration and lecture on future of justice delivery system and legal profession conducted by Kerala High Court Advocates Association. To begin with, I request everyone to rise for a silent prayer. Thank you all. I take this opportunity to invite Advocate Anand K, Secretary, Kerala High Court Advocates Association, to deliver the welcome address.
Good evening all. Honorable Chief Justice of High Court of Kerala, Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Honorable Mr. Justice A. Muhamed, Mustaque, President of Kerala High Court Advocate Association, Sri Rajesh Vijay, Advocate Joel Joseph, other Honorable Judges of this Honorable Court, Deputy Solicitor General of India, Sri Manu, Registrar General, Senior Delegates, other dignitaries, and members of the legal fraternity. The Constitution Day is celebrated every year on the 26th November to honor the adaptation of the Constitution of India. It was a major milestone on the country's path to becoming an independent, sovereign republic. After coming into force on 26 January 1950, the Indian Constitution was a legal document in India. Representatives from across the spectrum of communities make up the Constituent Assembly, which reflects the diversity of our country. Our Constitution makers took about 2 years to draft a comprehensive document that would reflect the current state of our country. India has been a successful democracy since its constitution was ratified more than a century ago, unlike many other countries that became independent at the same time. Rather than being a collection of articles and schedules, the Indian Constitution goes far beyond that. In addition to the establishing and empowering India's institution of governance, it has other benefits also. As a matter of fact, studies have referred to the Constitution as a transformative Constitution, which means it is embedded with vision and reflection of future. For the Constitution drafting, complete credit belongs to an outstanding leader, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is also known as the father of the Indian Constitution. It is a privilege that we have with us our Honorable Chief Justice of Kerala, Sri S. Manikumar, to deliver the Constitution Day message. Due to his Lordship's composed nature and gentleman behavior, his Lordship is very popular among the legal fraternity. His Lordship has proved himself personality par excellence through the various judgments rendered by his Lordship. On behalf of everyone present here, I welcome your Lordship to this function and express our gratitude in having been gracious enough for having consented to deliver the Constitution Day message. Today's lecture is on the topic Future of Justice Delivery System and Legal Provision. The state of a court's infrastructure can have a massive impact on the dispensation of justice. For example, a well-designed and adequately equipped courtroom can help enhance the productivity of a sitting judge. It is also true for lawyers and their chambers when preparing for their cases. The positive correlation between availability of judicial infrastructure and justice delivery is empirically well established. According to the National Mission for Justice Delivery and Legal Reforms, adequate judicial infrastructure is a prerequisite for reducing delay in cases. The National Court Management System, constituted by the Hon'ble Supreme Court, found a direct connection between the physical infrastructure, personnel strength, and digital infrastructure and pendency. The speaker on today's topic is Honorable Mr. Justice A. Muhamed Mustaque. To mention some of his academic achievements, he has obtained LLM in labor law, did private international course on e-commerce and intellectual property law, trained as a mediator by European team from UK. Justice Mustaque has many international publications to his credit, including papers presented at International Astronautical Congress held in Hyderabad, Daejeon in Korea, and Naples in Italy. I wholeheartedly welcome Honorable Mr. Justice A. Mustaque to this function. I take this opportunity to welcome our beloved President, Sri Rajesh Vijayan, to this function. It is my pleasure to welcome all the honorable judges of this honorable court to this function. I welcome our executive member, Sri Jojo Joseph, who will be delivering the vote of thanks to this function. I take this opportunity to welcome all the senior lawyers, President of Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, Srimati P.K. Shandama, other dignitaries present here today, and all the members of the legal fraternity to this function. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request Advocate Rajesh Vijayan, President, Kerala High Court Advocates Association, to deliver the presidential address.
Good evening. Honorable Chief Justice of Kerala High Court, Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Honorable Judge of Kerala High Court, Mr. Justice A. Muhamed Mustaque, Honorable Judges of the School, Senior Lawyers, members of the law fraternity, registrars and staff of the school, and my dear friends. Today, we have assembled here as part of Constitution Day celebrations. Constitution Day is celebrated in our country as Samvidhan Divas on 26 November every year to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India. I take this opportunity to reminisce about the brains behind the drafting of the world's longest constitution ever. Such a celebration is a need of the hour, as it is essential for us to be aware of what values our predecessors wanted to instill in us. Being advocates, we are duty bound to safeguard the Constitution and should stand by everything incorporated in this sacred document. In this event, I quote the words of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. I quote, "The Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document. It is a miracle of life, and its spirit is always a spirit of age." Unquote. Due to time constraint, I am not elaborating. On this Constitution Day, let's all take a pledge to protect the basic structure of a Constitution and safeguard the democracy of a nation. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Every year, on the 26th day of November, we celebrate Constitution Day, and we fondly remember the father of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Hon'ble Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, and I request you, sir, to deliver the Constitutional Day message.
You need this? You need this, yeah? Because accidentally if I press some button, nothing should not be lost. Nothing is there, okay. Brother Justice Mustaque Muhamed, my esteemed brother and sister judges, Mr. Manu, learned Deputy Solicitor General of India, Mr. Rajesh Mujian, President of the Kerala High Court Advocate Association, Srimati Shantama, President of the Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, office members of the High Court Advocate Association and the Federation of Women Lawyers Association, respected senior advocates, my dear junior lawyers, the stars of this court, staff and advocate clerks. Good evening to you all. 73 years ago, on 26 November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India adopted the Constitution of India. To commemorate the adoption of our Constitution, we celebrate the Constitution Day on 26 November every year. There was a program which was arranged by the Advocate Association on 24th, but due to some preoccupation, I think we requested the Advocate Association President to kindly postpone it to today. 26th of November, we have to attend the Constitution Day at Delhi, and therefore myself, Justice Mustaque and others were at Delhi, and therefore the program could not be arranged. I thank the Kerala Advocate Association to have this program on 30th in commemoration of the Constitution Day. In 1979, on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of this momentous event, because the Constitution came into India on 26th April 1950, then after 49, that was finalized in 49, and after 30 years, the anniversary was celebrated, and the Supreme Court began to celebrate the day as a national law day. In 2015, in connection with the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, as a befitting tribute to the chief architect of our Constitution, Government of India decided to celebrate 26 November of every year as a Constitution Day. As we all know, Constitution of India is the longest written constitution in the world. Many of the students who have studied the ML in Constitution, they would have known how the Constitution was written. But anyhow, I am not a student of I have not done my post-graduation in ML, but I did some study in the Constitution. 299 dedicated members, representing various regions of the country, irrespective of the caste, creed, and religion. Took around 2 years, 11 months, and 17 days to complete the framing of our constitution. How many of you, I think senior advocates or others, don't think that I'm posing an embarrassing question? How many of you have seen the constitutional debates? Can you just raise? I don't mind, I think, The constitutional debates, there are 5 volumes in the library, green color book. If you have any doubt about as to how a particular constitutional provision, article is enacted, kindly go through the debates. The Constituent Assembly members, how they spoke about what particular word should be used, the comma should be used, etc., etc. They took a lot of pains to frame our constitution. And all know that our constitution was drafted taking into consideration historical perspective, geographical diversity, cultural and traditional characteristics in India. And that is why India is called unity in diversity. On this occasion, I thank the state government because I have been speaking about this as to what we should do insofar as to conserve the constitution, that every day, at least, not every day, at least once in a week, if it is possible to read what we have resolved to ourselves. That is contained there in the preamble. And I was informed today that on 16/11/2022, Government of Kerala was issued a circular that the Constitution Day should be observed in all the institutions, heads of departments and chief executives of public sector undertakings and other autonomous bodies have been directed to arrange programs observing Constitution Day. More importantly, what I always feel is that the youngsters should know their constitutional or the fundamental rights and the fundamental duties. And therefore, the preamble, which contains the basic structure of the Constitution, should be known to the students. And I'm also happy that the government have issued a circular that reading of this preamble and also the fundamental duties as enshrined in Article 51A of the Constitution would be read in all the educational institutions. You all know that Constitution, they used to say, is an organic body, as a living entity, and it is also a social document. Fundamental rights in Part 3 are the means, and the directive principles in Part 4 are the essential ends in a welfare state. Touchstone of our Constitution of India, the Supreme Court, Supreme Law, is that we, the people of India, are the ultimate custodians of the Constitution of India. Constitution of India empowers the citizens of India and equally casts a duty on us to protect and preserve by strict adherence. By observing the Constitution Day, we shall resolve to uphold the constitutional principles and values, both in our words and deeds, to secure justice, liberty, and equality to all the citizens, and furthermore, to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and integrity of nation. This is not a flattery, but after coming to Kerala, firstly, I think I saw the number of judges. Even in judiciary, you can see how I think the fraternity is maintained. One may be a Hindu, one may be a Christian, and one may be a Muslim or other religion. So it is maintained, as far as I can say, in the judiciary. And I've also seen in the list of candidates who appeared and selected for the district municipals, district judges, all sections of the society are there in our fraternity. So also I think most of you are from different religions. But fraternity I could see in Kerala so far as our profession is concerned. One thing I wanted to say that every parent wants to have their offspring to grow up as a responsible person. And it is also the desire of the state. And that is why the government of Kerala has issued a circular that the Constitution Day would be observed on 26 November 26 November of every year. But I would request the Hon'ble portfolio judges also to conduct a program as what was done by Justice Bhatti to the students. About 80,000 students, in fact, participated in the program to know what is our fundamental duty. If you know our fundamental duty, then I think there won't be any problem. But we are asserting more on fundamental rights, and that is why more of litigation. Live and let live, I think should be the message which I wanted to say today. So far as with reference to the preamble, live and let live. So that will reduce, and that will satisfy the preamble. What justice is there, equality is there, and ultimately I think if you live and let live, fraternity is also will be there. On this momentous day, I wish to quote what the chairman and the principal architect of the Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said, I quote, "However a good constitution may be, if those who are implementing it are not good, it will prove to be bad. However bad a constitution may be, if those implementing it are good, it will prove to be good." It applies to us also. Let's not apply only to the government, because state has got three parts: executive, judiciary, and the legislative, and it applies to the judiciary also. In this 75th year of independence, let our nation bloom to become a developed state in the near future, with the cherished goal of a welfare state, fulfilling the dreams of the framers of a constitution as enshrined in the preamble. I'm more attracted to the preamble, and that is why I'm always using the word preamble. You see, it contains everything, It gives me immense pleasure that the Kerala High Court Advocate Association has come up with an important topic: future of justice system and legal profession, for this Constitution Day celebration. We had a two-day program on 26th and 27th in Delhi, presided over by the Chief Justice of India, future of justice and legal profession. And a lot of the speakers were there, and judges also spoke about this change in the system, like what happened during the, not with respect to COVID alone, with respect to the digitization and other aspects. And I'm sure Justice Mustaque, who is also heading our computer committee, and Kerala has done much in the computer committee, and all thanks to the computer committee members also, and the cooperation of the lawyers. I should say that, e-filing, etc., what we had, the initial itch, but then it was solved by the cooperation of the Advocate Association, who have given us good suggestions, and that is how I think we are moving forward in computerization. Before concluding, I express my sincere gratitude to the Kerala High Court Advocate Association for giving me this opportunity. And before winding up, I only request all our lawyers, please read preamble that contains everything. Thank you.
once again in all of us. Our profession is a field that is outgrown, and its dimension changes as the society transforms. A dynamic subject indeed, hence its future is what is in discussion today. We all have gathered here for the lecture on the topic, Future of Justice Delivery System and Legal Profession. I take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Mr. Justice A. Muhamed, Judge. A. Muhamed Mustaque, sir, Judge, High Court of Kerala, and I request you, sir, to take over the session.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Bar Association, giving an opportunity to present. I'm very delighted seeing more youngsters turn up to today's event. Not that I've been used seeing elders here, but today's topic is more relevant for you and related to the future of the legal profession and justice delivery system. Well, when we exhort ourselves to the constitutional value and abstract ideas of constitution, we are all reminded last 26 at Delhi by the President of India. You speak the constitution, you speak on the rule of law, but still many are languishing in the jails without bail, and you are not caring about them. And that's exactly you feel in the justice delivery system. While it's a great reminder for us when President of India spoke from a bottom of heart and to a crowd of elite crowd of judges and others. Perhaps we need to remind more ourselves how we can soothe or get justice to those who are otherwise deprived and marginalized. Perhaps today's presentation also relates to that as well. Well, the topic is the future of justice delivery system and legal profession. Imagine a world where you can travel across the globe without a passport, just showing your finger how credentials anybody can verify. Imagine a world where you're being treated by a doctor sitting in Australia or US, or the patients from US being treated in India when simple chip is inserted in your body and everything can be diagnosed. The world is fastly moving. What is happening around us? Millions years ago, we lived in a decentralized structure. We were nomads, few in numbers. Everybody knows each other in the community, if they live in the community. The few people who lived around in the habitat in the universe knows each other. But inventions of agriculture have created history and changed the path of civilization. People settle down sides of river and start agriculture. People start cultivation that creates an habitat that has grown in multiple levels. People have no idea about each other. They are lost trust. In a decentralized structure, everybody knows because a small in number, they have a trust. They know by names. If there are disputes among them, they can settle it. But when they move into this centralized structure, they require a law. The law is a trust between them. The law settles the disputes. Then we were for the authority of the sovereign. The sovereign's command became a law. And that is obeyed and honored by the citizens. So centralized structure, we see that the will of the sovereign. From March of the history, from decentralized to centralized, you can see, if you browse through the history, what the events happen in different levels in the phase of history. We are again going back to decentralized structure. As I said earlier, you don't require anything because you already start witnessing that decentralized world around you. Today's topic, perhaps more related to this, the idea of justice system in a decentralized structure, with the technological advancement built on trust, bringing change in that society. You all will start witnessing in a form of procedural how decentralized structures across the globe. You are not able to travel to US or UK or other countries because of your physical restrictions or want of space and times. Space and time all become relevant for us. Today, that has been lifted through kind of platform, video conferencing platform, Zoom, Google, etc. So you don't feel that you are aloof from others. You just feel the warmth of others. You can just contact anyone across the world and interact and converse in whatever way you want. You feel that the world has come to a fingertip. That is what decentralization and procedure and form. And decentralization is happening in otherwise in substance as well. We all felt the will of the sovereign as the laws of the country. But you look at around ourselves, how the laws have percolated or penetrated life made elsewhere. Starting from universal declarations of human rights law, CCPR, or civil and conventional political rights, the agreements on IPR, TRIPS agreement, information technology laws, arbitration law, how same have percolated in a domestic level, though it's elsewhere it's made. In the Rawls, in his famous book, Law of People, he speaks about laws of society, he's not speaking about laws of states. The idea of justice, the global justice, is reflected in his research and work, and says that a kind of alternative is shaping across the globe of idea of global justice. Maybe in future, the political masters, political sovereigns in our country may be reduced to political head for decisions on or political matters, and geographical sovereignty may be an illusion and may reduce fully for certain matters connected to the domestic level. The world is churning out in new directions. That's what decentralization is happening. The penetration is happening across the world. The price fixed in somewhere in the US elsewhere, when impacting the agricultural production here. The economics factors now in the country is influenced by factors decided elsewhere. The climate conditions of a nation is being decided somewhere else. We are now become now, India is now heading G20. So many decisions have been taken in the group of nations, and that is penetrated level. So world again is now moving forward decentralization. So now that's where the kind of idea of justice now we are looking upon. When world is itself an approaching to a from centralized to decentralized platform, where exactly the justice delivery system would stand is a question for us to ponder, especially for the youngsters. The paradigm shift of imposing of authority has slowly waning away. We thought the justice system is some kind of sense of an authority of judges or those who are in the affairs to deliver to the citizens or those who are seeking justice before the court. In the past, we thought everything is a matter of, it is not a matter of right, it's not available to you as a matter of right, but act as a concession or kind of some kind of obligations created on public servants or judges. There is a paradigm shift in authority. The authority today cannot themselves claim an authority merely to decide certain things based on the matters before you, but is to deliver the same thing back to satisfaction of those who seek such service from the authority. Whether in the matters of governance, whether matters of delivery of justice system, whether in the matter of any other service, the shift already happened. People are to serve to the best satisfaction level of those who seek such services. It is not that courts are not mere creation of an authority and imposing the will. Governments are not in the countries are not to show their parade of the power, but to serve the governed. Governed start dictating. Those who seek justice before the court as litigants start dictating kind of service they demand. So justice delivery system need necessarily to have focus on those benefit, the beneficial interest of those whom we are going to serve. So shift of an authority from the will of the judges, it's going to be shift of the justices, delivery dispensers to shift of the satisfaction of the beneficiary of such a service. It is in that background we have to consider justice building system. Today we are attempting to hike infrastructure. Perhaps many things. We are creating a digital platform for an e-filing system, just conversion of existing physical file to digital platform. That's a mistaken notion. Perhaps today's duty is for me to dispel that notion as well. We are not creating a platform from mere conversion of a physical file to digital platform. We are creating a new judicial ecosystem around us. E-ecosystem that will transform an entire justice delivery system that we believe. May not look e-filing as a mere tool just for a conversion of a physical file to a digital file for storing or saving files or data, etc. It is much beyond that. It is to create a new ecosystem in judiciary. So we start building an IT infrastructure, keeping in mind the user perspective, the satisfaction order. We also in Kerala adopted a different adoption, not much slightly different from the national approach, whereas more basically is conversion of physical to a digital platform. Of course, they are also trying to build an edifice over it, but we are far ahead of it because as slightly pointed out Chief Justice, we are in the path of creating a judicial ecosystem where everything would be available at your fingertip. So we start making a dashboard to make it a virtual platform for everyone, whether the Chief Justice, whether QE judge, whether lawyers, clerks, filing scrutiny officers, or whoever uses the system, we want to make your dashboard as a virtual offices for an interactive mode. You don't require any physical files or physical infrastructure to have kind of assistance or service from the court. So our idea of creating an ecosystem starts with this notion of building an IT infrastructure, completely transformed from physical to digital platform, which will bring transparency, accountability, openness, experience. I often see the many complaints of lawyers and clerks and etc. against the registry because they have no idea how the registry works. Because they have no access to the registry, they have no idea how the process is shaping in their administrative justice. But we want to change it. I showed all kind of support to Bar Association, at least from 1st January. The system will bring a sea change in the approach. You will be able to identify what is happening to your files in real-time chat, real-time interaction mode when cases are filed. You will see what is happening to the registry. That will bring a lot of trust in you. The complaints are essentially because of there is a miscommunication between parties. The registry officials are busy, the lawyers are busy, there is no communications happening between them. Now they will be knowing what is happening to the case. The transparent approach. So you will be knowing what is exactly happening to your file in a case. What is exactly happening to the register. This will bring a more experience and this will really bring a sea change in our approach and attitude. And our FSRs are prepared for the changes. The most, the critical component in administration's ear is of FSOs, and they are most vulnerable in the sense often they have been criticized sometimes for no fault of their own. So this will bring kind of changes in the administration, and you will be knowing where exactly the problem, what exactly you look at changes. It is only an example I said. The transparency, the accountability, openness, expediency would be visible for you, even sitting at home and your offices, and you will be knowing what exactly is happening and transparent. This will bring a mutual trust, and we can think about working together in the cause of justice. Perhaps an idea of notion has been given to you. The judges themselves take decisions for them, for the matters of administration of justice. We want to change that notion. We want involved lawyers as well, who are involved in the process, to be part of taking decisions. This is how our Chief Justice always insists. Whenever you take a decision, consult lawyers board before you take a decision, place before the Chief Justice. This is what ultimate goal we are now looking for, the digital platform. Now, two big impact in justice delivery system and legal profession is blockchain and artificial intelligence. What is a blockchain? The blockchain, every block, you know, perhaps heard of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is based on the cryptography, the technology. The trust itself, the very feature of this technology, blockchain technology, is trust. Every computer or network is linked to each other. In every code, this will be considered as a block. Or in every computer is linked, it is a block. Each will be linked to each other, and there will be trust. If any tampering is happening in one block, that will be reflected in another. So trust, this is how the cryptocurrencies work. A cryptocurrency is a format of digital transaction of the currency without there is a centralized structure. Today we need a centralized structure for all transactions related to currencies. That is why we have a central bank or RBA. Cryptocurrency just demolished the idea of centralized structure. It is built on decentralized structure. So every block is built on trust. They would speak to each other through the kind of network they have through blockchain. The big impact is going to be the artificial intelligence. These will bring a big change in that, because judiciary is said to be having big data with us. We have data of all sorts, case, parties, etc. The idea of deploying artificial intelligence, it is possible to predict how many functions, even for the Chief Justice can now constitute a roster based on using artificial intelligence. Chief Justice we can predict the time which would be taken for a disposal of a particular case. The data could identify the cases are which in common, which can be disposed in one rush. So there are many use of data in judicial administrations that will help us to bring uniformity and easy disposal of the cases. Again, this is a kind of block. I'm not explaining much because of want of time. I assured Chief Justice I'll finish 20-25 minutes. This is going to be the future of court system. Every court will remain as a block that will connect it through the blockchain technology. You are now hurried to get a certificate copy. You don't require a certificate copy in the future, because entire files are there. If you want to file a case in Sessions Court from a Magistrates Court, just prepare a appeal memorandum of revision and a click of button, it will be there. Because your file already networked, linked through a technology to the other block, the Sessions Court. If you want to carry this appeal to the High Court, again, on a click of memorandum of appeal, it will be linked to it. Again, if you want to file a SLP before the Supreme Court, it's simply a matter of preparing an SLP. You don't require a certificate copy. Imagine a world where you don't require a certificate copy. How much time is taken now for a certificate copy? How much cases are filed because of your applications have been struck off not providing stamp duty? You don't require anything except prepare a memorandum. The technology enhances for you, as simple as that. If you want to appear from here to the Supreme Court, any other court, it is possible to file a case in a hybrid scenario. The world has come to such level in a decentralized structure. What is happening around the physical barriers is taken away, is removed. The constraints of time is removed. Constraints of space is removed. The world come to a decentralized structure through technology. The blockchain technology itself, as I said earlier, is built on trust. It is because of lack of trust in a large community, because they cannot communicate each other, converse each other, we require a law. And that created a lot of issues. But of course, looking at a different dimension, these kind of technology will set a new procedure for moving or transmitting our data across. So imagine a day tomorrow, 5 years down, up in there, where you can simply file an SLP next day or in High Court. There is no requirement of two-day motion mentioning it. How many constraints you have today? Just look at the constraints you have. You have to go to the court, you have to obtain a chip, some judges refuse, some judges allow. Then you will have to go after your files, there will be defect in the producing the certificate, non-producing certificate copy. You have a lot of dilemma in prosecuting your appeals and adoptions. You don't require anything. Just prepare a memorandum of appeal and click. Your files is available in High Court or the Supreme Court as the case may be. So it's remove all barriers we face in the physical sense. The physical constraints we face today has put a lot of pressure on you and all on your life health. Many are constraints. That is the reason you quite some time provocative and become abusive of filing scrutiny officers and criticize them. The world has changed. The technology has brought immense change, and we need to use this. That is the reason I said the future of justice delivery system is not looking upon a same way which we are now considering the physical world. It's totally in a different way. The approach is a different way. The e-filing started here is to create a new ecosystem, not for creating a replacement of physical files to digitized model. So you have to conceive this idea, and we can start and collaborate more to bring a change. The system definitely will change. Youngsters here, I'm beseech to you, all of you, the idea of future like this rests on your shoulder. And it is for you to bring changes which we are now aspiring for. These changes will not happen on overnight. It will take years. If we are not seeing the idea today, there is no scope for growing it as a tree. Then that idea at least be started today. I'm not referring to much of concept of AE, functionalities, etc. So you might be knowing, youngsters be knowing it. I'm sure that the AI tools will bridge many gaps. I reminded all of you the speech of the President of India, the last 26 in Delhi, where there are many people who could not reach to mainstream system of justice for part of connectivity in form of legal assistance, financial assistance, etc. Days are not far when they can speak from natural language their problems, both sitting in the jail or elsewhere. If they are in a tribe, they can speak in their natural language, go to the nearest village officers anywhere. The system will identify their problem and formulate and make a cause for them. The technology can have a far-reaching impact in the lives of the marginalized or poor who remain untouched. It can speak for unspoken people. It can have a greater impact in their life. The machine can identify the problem and formulate it as an issue and place it where it is required to be placed, whether it be village officer, government, court, etc. Such profound impact can be created by use of artificial intelligence in judicial justice system. And most importantly, when perspective of judiciary, today many of our decisions reflect the decision of the individuals. One of the biggest challenges we face in the judiciary of many, including selection of judges from the district judiciary and others. Many of our norms, many of our decisions is a decision of the individuals. They, with all time constraints, they take decisions based on the data available with them. Maybe paucity of time, they may not have time to dissect or analyze the data. And they take decisions. These decisions always reflect the decision of individuals. But in the age of AA, there will be a uniformity in taking decisions. That will reflect the choice of decision as a choice of institution rather than reflection of individuals' ethos or notions. And that's very paramount in judicial sector. There are three stages of technological advancement: supportive, replacement, disruption. We moved from supportive. Supportive means building infrastructure. Today we are looking in terms of replacement. All what has now been existing being replaced. The third, we are awaited to come, disruption. Disruption means what existing is vanished, a new system is created around. So we are in the second stage and we are awaiting third stage. And this is where the your stage is started and my second part of presentation.
Todd's an exceptional lawyer with tons of clients. Todd doesn't understand artificial intelligence and probably thinks machines could take over the world. But in an ever-changing legal market, he knows that he's got to remain competitive. But Todd's stuck in the mundane and repetitive tasks of legal research that's weighing him down with unbillable hours, and hardly any time to focus his time on what's most important, his clients. So Todd turned and knew he can put his trust in artificial intelligence with Ross, his own personal artificially intelligent researcher. Ross has access to a vast legal database that effortlessly reads through and finds numerous answers for any legal question. You can ask Ross questions in natural language, the same way you would any other lawyer. Ross runs in the cloud, can be set up in seconds, and literally takes just minutes to master. All you need is an internet connection. No more wasted time on training sessions and lessons. Ross gives Todd more time to focus on his clients, which has definitely changed Todd's opinion of artificial intelligence. So join Todd and hire Ross today. Purchase a subscription at rossintelligence.com. Let Ross help you accomplish more than you ever thought humanly possible. Todd's an exceptional.
There is already a robotic lawyer practicing bankruptcy in the US. The seconds they can give an advice, it's a subscribe service. The moment you subscribe, whatever advice required in bankruptcy, the robotic lawyer can give an advice. Days are not far, the bank's opinion, legal opinions from robots. Days are not far where opinions are given by machines better than us, because we have all data on easily anybody can subscribe the robot and robot will answer it. Judges, no, not going to happen. Judges, the justice is a concept, is an abstract virtue that should reflect human mind, and data is only preloaded data that can only analyze existing data. So there is an emotional element, there is an element of empathy or sympathy or kind of virtues that should reflect in justice. Maybe in certain cases, yes, MACT, land acquisition, yes. We don't require judges because machine itself can decide. There's a lawyers in the era of metaverse. Perhaps you heard metaverse. Youngsters know what is a metaverse. Meta means beyond verse. Yes, perhaps everybody would identify with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and metaverse, and you know that his share price has plummeted like anything because of he invested a lot in metaverse. Many of the Facebook, Google, all invested billions and billions, and you must know that they are big tech giants, and they will not withdraw unless they get a benefit from that. So world is now going to be around metaverse. What is a metaverse for the lawyers? Perhaps you might be wondering. The metaverse is a kind of experience you feel in the virtual reality. Like for example, in the COVID period, we are all started arguing cases from our offices or home. But if you want to create an environment of Chief Justice Court and you can feel that experience in your chamber or court. If you want, thinking that you're having a zip-up copy, you want to feel that experience like in the Marine Drive you're sitting in, that experience you may feel. If you want to play cricket, you can play cricket somewhere else here, but you want to have the warmth of a feeling of ground of the England, Lords, then you can have the feeling of it. So many can feel the experience of it. Unlike the kind of meeting we have, conversations happening through using mobile phone or Zoom, where we don't experience anything, just talk to each other. But you are really feeling that work, you want to feel certain things in reality that you will feel in metaverse. Of course, when you're looking at the one side, it's a simple thing. But there are many issues likely to crop up when metaverse become content and kind of impact in our life. The children knows what is happening in metaverse, the games they are engaged in. But recently in Avatar, the college in Avatar, Anand can have an Avatar, Rajesh can Avatar. A lady was groped in virtual reality and she raised a complaint in US court. I don't know how they're going to deal it. There may be like many issues because you create a virtual world around you and you start feeling a reality in it. And that may result in many experiences because it may have human issues, pain, sufferings are all because of their experience of feeling it. And in the world, in the era of metaverse, you may face a lot of issues and so on. So metaverse, you can feel and experience. And next time when COVID happens, when lockdown happens, you can feel that you are arguing Chief Justice Court and you will feel all the arguments of Chief Justice Court, though you are sitting at home. The smart contract. What is a smart contract? You're all availing a banking service today. We used to go to the bank and tender a check and the cashier or person there and give you the money you want. Today you are going to an ATM. You don't require that cashier. You put your ATM card in it and they'll give money. Simple as that. All these intermediaries are removed and the kind of technology enables to identify you based on the trust and honor the obligation. That is the simplest term of defining the smart contract. The smart contracts, intermediaries are removed. The simple, it's essentially is built as of now on the blockchain technology. The blockchain technology, as I said, is built on trust. Tomorrow, most likely to be affected by the MACT lawyers. If insurance company, hospitals, police, all remain in the block, you can speak to each other, moment accident occurs or death occurs, age is known, policy is known. The next day, the money is delivered to the victim's family. The smart contract is likely to penetrate insurance, business, many other business, which we don't require the intermediary to enforce or third party to enforce. Perhaps your role perhaps to make more a regulatory mechanism to honor such kind of obligations. The smart contracts certainly going to happen without any waiting for that. It's going to happen soon. So that will remove the intermediaries and third parties. There are many areas for you, computational law, which is like you might have heard bioinformatics. The bioinformatics, the biology and information data and using AI tools and data mining, deep learning, the biological aspect is predicted by machines. The computational law is similar to that. You have all databases and it predicts, gives opinion, etc. Like law of informatics, the practice would be more on that and you can be part of it. The future challenges like this, ensuring trust and avoiding intermediaries. And there is one more element which I would just want to stress in economic justice. Perhaps in constitutional courts, I feel sorry to say that there are no academics for perhaps elucidating the idea of economic justice. James Buchanan, who was a Nobel laureate, written a book called Constitutional Economics. He refers to the idea of constitutional justice in terms of economics. Today we put under the carpet of all economic issues in saying that it's a policy of the government, we cannot interfere. But what is happening in terms of economical impact, it may imbalance many rights which is balanced under the constitutions, which cannot be taken away because constitution protects. Court puts under the carpet of saying that policy because and become insulated from challenge, saying it's a policy decisions. This is where the constitutional courts have failed for obvious reasons. Lawyers have no expertise in those fields. It is for the lawyers to build a justice system around economic justice. We feel many of areas, many citizens are affected because of economic decisions taken elsewhere. It is an impact on our life. So we need to balance those rights. Apart from we are championing social rights, political rights, cultural rights, but we are not able to take up the cause of economic justice of the people. So this is one area where you need to also focus on constitutional courts. Maybe we need a lot of academic proficiency in understanding and expertise in idea of economics putting into the constitutional frames. Though constitution speaks about in social structure, it may not be ideal in this today's world. But essentially the idea of justice in the constitution, what's in turn, is essentially pointing out the kind of distributions of the office and assets in equal manner to benefit the people. So we need also to think aloud on bringing economic justice into the fold while we are marching to the future. Now, biggest challenge we likely to face is the human versus conflict with the machine. I'm sorry, Chief Justice, I exceeded time. I will finish with 5 minutes. We in the past saw the division among the humans. So we have a labor law to balance between employer and relationship. We have many laws because it's basically division among the humans. So that balance was sustained through the laws. Whichever law you see that is only a balancing exercise and building a relationship through that. But next impact is going to upon our lives, the conflict between the human and machines. Algorithm will going to have an impact on our life. The privacy issues, many other issues are determined now. It's emanates out of algorithms and decisions, predictive nature. Even can have an influence on the democratic institution in the countries. This is going to be a big challenge for us to balance machines, which is not controlled because you know the internet is nobody claiming ownership, it's only protocols. When machines become predictive of many things, machines become decisive in your life, machine impact your social, political, economic life of yours, whom they are accountable. This is the biggest challenge. I can say an individual is accountable under the Constitution. But what about machine? If it can penetrate to our life, how they may be made accountable to the Constitution or the laws of the country? These big challenges, this big conflict is essentially a big challenge to youngsters to bring out. Maybe the future of the legal profession is that around two kinds of specialists, blockchain specialists and AI specialist lawyers. You need to expertise in either of these areas or both, making contract, regulatory mechanism, because all financial institutions, fintech, need to be regulated by the country's laws. Who can make law? Our states may not have a competence to make such laws. It is for the lawyers to champion it. It is for the lawyers to create a new environment in this country to bring them under law and accountable law. For countries' growth and development is also dependent upon how the lawyers are able to understand the technological advancement and shape the country. You cannot think about law as a legal profession studying and abstract ideas of constitutions or laws of the land. You also need to know the technological advancement. Maybe there should be a convergence of minds of technological experts and legal experts to bring a change together. So we, lawyers, especially youngsters, you will have to think about a new world around us. We need to think about bringing changes in national interest. It is a lawyer's body, it is a lawyer's ingenuity that stood behind the Constitution. It is because of the lawyers' articulations of basic structure law at Kashmir and Bharati, we have still a constitution with us. It is through your ingenuity the nation can be built. So we need to respond to the needs of time. And lastly, I'll just show this video. This is a Norwegian video which show our present dilemma, where a person who was well conversant with a roll of paper and he used to write everything in a paper's roll for easy reference. He's trying to open a book, and how difficult it was for him. So, man who has not experienced in browsing a book before, bounded book, he used to handle a rolling paper to note down whatever he wants. Suddenly, when it made in a book form, he experienced his problem and difficulty in looking at the book. It is we all experience the same thing because of mindset. We are not prepared to change. Whatever new comes to your mind, your confirmation bias will reflect in it, and you don't want to feel experienced because you already experienced something else. Why do you want to change? It's time for us to change our mind, otherwise it will die like you. When you build a bridge, you are not being futuristic. You completed it, the river drifted away. Same thing is going to happen to the legal profession. So try to build a bridge thinking about future. That will not last. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us on the future of the delivery system and as to how we need to think on how we have to accommodate and grow with the changing times. Thank you, sir. I request Vice President, Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Srimati Rajani K, to felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, sir, with a memento. I request Vice President Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Shri Santosh Peter Sir, to felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice A. Muhamed Mustaque Sir with a memento. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
You don't give anything to a president.
May I now request Advocate Jojo Joseph, Executive Committee Member, to propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Justice Manikumar Sir, Honorable Justice Mustaque Sir, all the other judges and advocate friends. Today, we are assembled here to celebrate the National Law Day and to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India. A thoughtful message of the special day is delivered by the Honorable Chief Justice on behalf of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association. I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to the Honorable Mr. Justice S. Manikumar. A meaningful lecture on the justice delivery system and the legal profession is given by Hon'ble Mr. Justice A. Muhamed Mustaque on behalf of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association. I would like to say thank you, sir. I express my sincere thanks to all honorable judges who have witnessed to this historic ceremony. And finally, a word of thanks goes to the Registrar of this Honorable Court, respected DSGA Manusa Office Manusa, and all the distinguished guests, the President, Secretary, and the Executive Committee, and all the members of Kerala High Court Advocate Association, and all others participated here for this great event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we have come to the end, let us always take pride as we are in a highly dynamic field, and let us uphold the Constitution as a bundle constructed with a futuristic vision. Thank you all for being a patient audience. I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब